Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. Wow. Okay. I know it's only a few of us today because we don't work when it's raining outside. That's the life of a real estate agent. But let's get started. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for coming, even though it's raining outside. I appreciate it. There's many of you online. Thank you so much for joining us from the comfort of your home. I understand that coming to the office is inconvenient, and I appreciate you joining us in this stormy weather. All right, let's get started. Bucket fills. There's always a good reason to be grateful for something or someone, or maybe something fun to share. A new listing, new baby, vacation, marriage, divorce, new car, anything or anyone that you are grateful for. Who would like to go ahead and start?
I'm online. I have something.
Yes, take it away.
I hosted an HOA event over the weekend for our neighborhood, and it went really well. It was a chili cook-off and vendor event, and I picked up a lead from it.
Oh, congrats. That's awesome. Hey, Sarah, do you want to be our mic runner? I knew it. All right. Who else? We have Chris Lisak in the house. That's exciting and blessing on its own. All right. Who's next? Share something good. Vamshi. Sarah, I said mic runner.
I could have said when you were here. I uh, I had a $1 million listing, very good open house. We have 2 offers on that one, so we are negotiating on that.
That's awesome. All right. Anybody else? Anybody online? All right. We have Gloria.
You guys. I just want to see you again. Sorry. So on, I think it was Friday.
To the microphone.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. On Friday, I got a listing, which is rare for me. I'm normally a buyer's agent. It was actually 6 bulk listings.
Oh, sure.
He wanted,
Why take one when you can take 6?
he wanted 10% over appraisal. This is his conditions that I take it. And they all kind of went within 24 hours.
That's
Wow.
awesome. All right.
Okay.
That's really good.
That's awesome.
All right. Anybody else?
Should I just stand here?
Going once, going twice. Moving on. All right, a few classes and events we have coming up. On June 4th, we have a fabulous class. All right, selling vacant land. On June 5th, we have our KWSW Family Night. It's starting at 7 p.m. We have 200 tickets for you guys. You can request up to 4 tickets for your family. We have a parking pass. Pick them up at the front desk, absolutely at no cost. We just want you to come with your family and have a great time with us. So please, please, please take your tickets soon because it's a first come, first serve basis. All right, we also have a Canva class that is taught by Greg coming up on June 17th at 2 p.m. He's going to dive a little bit deeper on how to do the listing flyers, hands-on training, as well as new templates for agents. Now, what I would like to do is to welcome our fabulous lunch sponsor. Thank you so much for bringing kolaches and donuts. Let's give him a round of applause. Josh. And Sarah, we need the microphone. Yeah, you stand right over here. She's going to give you the mic.
One moment.
All right, and if you don't mind, people can see you online, so.
Awesome. So can everybody try to grab it, or do I?
You can pick it up if
Okay.
you don't want to grab it. It's up to you.
Fancy. Awesome. Hello, everybody. Appreciate y'all having us out. My name is Josh Appel. This is Taylor. We come as a team. We actually got started together. She's a brand photographer, and I'm a real estate photographer. And I reached out to her to get some branding photos, and she did an amazing job. And we got to talking, and we figured out that we have some of the same clients and serve the same real estate professionals. And she does their branding, and I do their real estate media. So I figured that it would be a great kind of team membership to be able to come together and offer our clients both branding and real estate media. So that's my information. But you want to go to the next slide? There's our other partners, a little late, but yeah. Yes, right. So anyways, so wanted to talk to y'all today about y'all's Q3 marketing. It's very important to have a game plan in mind, and especially as real estate professionals, y'all know y'all have to market yourself, get clients, find listings, and then you have to market the property properly. So we wanted to be that one-stop shop for y'all. To be able to go to Taylor to get branding photos. So whenever people Google search you, it'll be a real bright, beautiful photo of yourself and of you doing what you do best, which is real estate. And then Dee and Kelsey with Dee Virtual, they do amazing like social media videography, and they also are able to help you with content. So everybody who's on here or who is a realtor usually has a lot of social media marketing. And so they can really help you plan out and have engaging content to be able to get you more leads, more clients, and more business. Yeah, Taylor and Dee can help y'all with the upfront stuff, marketing yourself, getting the listing, getting the appointments, and then I can help you properly market your property. I do real estate photography, I do real estate videography and drone work, licensed drone pilots. I've flown my drone pretty much anywhere you can, right over Bush Airport. I don't recommend it. It was the scariest thing in my life, but I was able to do it. And the fact that they trusted me with that is, I still don't understand that at all. But anyways, next slide. So here's just our profiles in our companies. We all three started out kind of similar backgrounds, working in kind of corporate worlds, and realized that we wanted to follow our passions, which is media and photography and videography. And so we all kind of been doing this for 5 years, built our businesses from the ground up, and decided to come together under one roof to be able to offer our clients the best service possible. Also, Taylor did all of the photos up there, so that's a good little example. She did an amazing job. Next slide. So we'll just go through kind of what we all bring to the table. This is my company, Appel Photography. Like I said, do real estate photography, videography, and drone services. Been doing for 5 years, started out in real estate, commercial real estate appraisal, and then started doing this kind of a part-time. And then the last 2 years, I've done it full-time. So I was able to build my portfolio up enough to where I could break away from the commercial appraisal world finally and do what I want. So you can check out my website, www.photographybyapel.com. Taylor's.
Hello, everyone. So my company is TMH Creative, and like Josh said, I'm a brand photographer and strategist, and I specialize in headshots as well as imagery that you could use, for websites and social media. And I would say what differentiates my services for just regular photography services is the strategy piece. So what I do with my clients,
I'm so sorry, I
it's
forgot to pick up my mic.
okay. Yeah, so what I do with my clients is add that strategy element. So what I do is I like to go in because real estate is a very saturated market. So how can we differentiate you from others? And also in addition to, professional headshots, branding, I also do event photography as well to help you also. I'm sorry? Oh. Event, yes.
Virtual staging? Yes.
So that would be with Josh. He does the virtual staging because he'll handle all listings and things like that. But the next one we're talking about is the virtual media, and that's my partner over there. Basically, what we do is we help you, what she said, stand out, because we know everybody's doing social media right now, especially in real estate. So we really try to focus on making you the expert. We try to share your story and make sure that people are focused on your brand, not so much just the service, because let's face it, nowadays, people don't just want to use your service. They want to be part of your growth, your company, and your brand. So that's what we try to do here. And The cool part is we're iPhone Media and we do everything in batched out. So you come in, record everything in one day, and then you walk out with a whole month worth of content.
Awesome. Yeah, usually those videos are clickable, but and so we can give y'all some, but y'all can check out our website.
Yeah.
What's the website?
Dvirtual.net.
Yeah.
Very simple.
So you can check out some of her samples. So why we make a great team, like we all kind of say, we all have a similar entrepreneurial background. You know, we kind of broke away from the corporate world and decided to go do what we love and are passionate about. We really love working with real estate professionals because y'all have similar background as us in a way. Y'all have your own businesses. Y'all fight for every single client, every single dime y'all make is earned, and it's just that much more important to y'all. And so we love building something with y'all, and we're very much a kind of a team-oriented business, you know, where whenever y'all are successful, we're successful, and we love to see that growth. What's great about us also is we're all three specifically focused on our niche. So it's not like, you know, I have a camera, so that means I'm a professional headshot person. You know, that's not, I'm do best with real estate and drone work, and Taylor does best with you know, branding photography, and Dee does best with videography. So we all kind of bring our own strengths to the table, and it's going to ensure consistency as well. Because right now it's just everybody that you see in this room is who the company is. So whenever y'all call us for a job, it's going to be one of us showing up. It won't be our, you know, intern doing his first shot, or, you know, that college student who doesn't really care. You know, it'll ensure quality. So very proud of that.
Awesome.
Next stage. So yeah, so like our services, just kind of a quick recap, quick and easy scheduling. I can usually be out there within 48 hours, and then 1 to 3 hours or however long it takes to get the shot done. Like I said, aerial and tripod, and 24-hour to 48-hour turnaround time with unlimited photos. So I'm not counting photos. I'm not saying it's this price for 10 photos. It's unlimited photos. However many it takes to get the job properly marketed is what you'll get.
Mine's pretty simple. Like I said, it's batch out content. So you decide how many you want. We'll have a brainstorm call, then we'll meet at the content session, record everything, and then we'll take it back, do in-house editing, and you get graphics, captions, the whole 9 yards to be ready to post.
Awesome.
So my package as well. So this is the starting brand photography package. However, it could be customizable depending on what your need is, but we could shoot up to 3 hours. You'll get a gallery of unlimited images. And then you also have the option to choose up to 3 locations, as well as that marketing and content strategy piece. But like I said, this is up for, I do have smaller tier packages as well. If this may be too much, maybe you just need a 30-minute session and only need a few headshots. And also I do have a all white natural lighting studio as well that you all will have access to, or we could just go to one of your listing locations and shoot there. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, next slide is just a barcode, so y'all can take a screenshot of that, and then that will just be able to, y'all can fill out a little form on any of these services that we presented today. If any of them sound good, you can just click that, and then we will be in contact with you to set up a call. But that's about it. I really appreciate y'all, and
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, awesome. Moving right along. All right, we're gonna have a little game. You guys ready? All right, I have 2 fabulous prizes, a book, and $20.
It's 20.
All right, you're gonna help me?
Yeah.
All right.
I am helping.
What we are going to play is a fun game called Price It Right. I'm gonna show you 2 properties, and whoever guesses the price of the house will get to pick either $20 or the book. So let's go ahead and let's start with our first property. This fabulous property was built in 1931. It's a 1-story home, 1,300 square feet. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and the lot is approximately 6,200 square feet. Let's look at a few photos. I cannot tell you.
Okay, everyone just play along.
We are not running CMA. All right, we have one guess already. Go ahead.
Oh, right.
600,000. All right, any other
600,000.
guesses?
Did you say what area it was in?
No,
That's
ma'am.
classified information.
Oh, got it. Got it.
The total square footage is 1344, 2 bedroom, 2 baths, built in 1931.
You're
And the
typing-
lot is
Be typing right now.
6,200 square feet. It's in a
I'm
very
going-
desirable location. 450,
600,000, 450.
I'm going 320,000.
320, 2
Oh,
million,
Deborah.
okay?
Deborah.
750, any other guesses? 1.50,
450.
I think all the numbers
All
have been
right.
said.
1,300 square feet. 950,000,
Is this one of our listings?
550,
Sound is low.
200,000.
No.
All right. So here, who are the people that raised their hand at 1.2 and 1.3? All right. Ma'am, what was your number? 1.3, ma'am? All right. And the list price is 1,124,900. Would you like a $20 or a book?
Wow.
Book?
What's the book?
All right. Fabulous.
Congratulations.
It's Invest You.
I was gonna say it's got to be Westview. Congratulations. Have you read that before?
That was the clue. Yes.
Book.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
ready for
everyone
a
stop
second
whining.
All right,
house does
this
not
is
go to
our
Westbury.
second
It's not a
property.
Westbury house. No.
Normie? All right, this is our second property. That is 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 2-story home, 2,900 square feet, built in 2003, and the lot is 5,900. This is the kitchen. This is the front.
385.
550.
Okay, any other guesses? 525,
625.
How old is the roof?
400,000.
It does. It's a little scaly. I don't like it.
580,000.
All right, we actually have winner right over here at 420. The list price is 425,000. Congratulations, you win $20.
You won $20. Drinks are on Gina.
Unfortunately, it's all about the price. This property is Audra O'Neill's listing, located in Greatwood.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. So speaking of homes, what I would like to do today is to have a little bit of a serious conversation. I wanted to have fun before we dive into a serious conversation. Here is why. One of our agents last year has experienced a family tragedy. It was last year on the 4th of July when everybody was celebrating and they had a great night and then they went to sleep. And 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody started beating on their front door and they said, "Your house is on fire." And in the next 10 minutes, they had to evacuate the entire property. They had no idea what happened, but the garage that was detached caught on fire. And the fire very quickly went straight to the house and through the breezeway, destroyed the entire second floor of the primary residence as well. What they didn't know was that the neighbors that were actually doing fireworks, that little firework that was still somewhat lit fell into open bin and caught on fire by their pool equipment that was right behind the garage. And that's what caused the fire and completely destroyed their home. What they also didn't know is they didn't have appropriate insurance coverage. What they didn't realize is that the next day, there were a bunch of people already waiting in the driveway. They were like, "Why are all these people here?" There were actually a variety of adjusters and insurance companies that wanted to immediately get hired to fight their insurance company. And they said, "What do you mean? But we do have an insurance." Yeah, they did, but they didn't know what their replacement coverage was and that it wasn't enough. They didn't know what certain coverages were as far as them having enough money to be relocated while the next 6 months are being spent away from their home because the house is actually not in a condition for them to live in. They had to throw away all of their clothes because everything smelled like a smoke. Their cabinets, everything. And what I realized as I was talking to her in person, she said, you know, we never look into our insurance coverage. I always looked at our deductible. I always looked at our wind and hail, and I was always focusing on the premium. I had no idea that I was underinsured, that I'm not going to have enough money to rebuild our house. And that is one of the reasons why I asked James to join us today, so we can have a conversation about today's market. Last week, we've been talking about what we are seeing as a projections, how is the market doing, right? Interest rates, etc., and how does it going to impact us? We also know a big topic is the insurance coverages. Yes or yes? Are they high? Yes or yes? Do we usually tell our clients, just get a quote, let's shop around, let's find you the cheapest option, and let's get to the closing table? Yes or yes? Do we take the time to explain it to our clients? No and no. Do we understand it ourselves as a real estate agents? That's exactly right. Do you remember last week we were talking about disappointment? And the disappointment being the difference between expectations and reality. And everything in between is the disappointment that a lot of times happens because the miscommunication, misunderstandings, and not delivering on the expectations. And I shared with you that one of my goals is for you to create the experience all the way on the top. With that being said, that means that you guys need to be educated to fully understand the ins and outs, so you are also able to explain, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I completely understand that the insurance premium is high, but this is why, and this is your current coverage with this carrier versus this carrier. So please help me give James a round of applause. You guys have a little printouts, and we are going to spend the next 15 minutes discussing what should buyers and our agents be looking for, looking at, and what does it all mean? And with that being said, I actually pull up my policy and I'm seeing, what is seepage coverage? What is sump discharge or overflow? I have no idea. Why don't you explain it all?
Yeah, of course. So thanks for the opportunity, Yana. I appreciate this. You know, our goal, guys, is to help people. It's the primary goal within our agency is to help people. We tell people we don't sell insurance, we help people. And that's why we are KW Southwest insurance partner. And the reality is similar to your industry. My industry has done its best to commoditize itself. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you see the commercials, all they talk about is saving money, saving money, saving money. And that's important. But it's also important to what Yana mentioned, and that is, what am I getting for my money? And we call that value. There's a difference between value and price. And what we focus on within our agency is value through education. Maybe somebody doesn't want slow seepage, like Yana said, and that's okay. We'll offer it to them and they can have the opportunity to decline. But the challenge is most people in my industry, they don't do that. What they do is they put together a quote for your guys' buyers or even yourself. They send it to you as cheaply, as inexpensively as they can get it to you and hope that they're less expensive than anything else you see. And because you guys aren't insurance experts and neither are your buyers, generally they're going to gravitate to the most inexpensive one. It's just natural. But insurance, if done correctly, is not a commodity. Similar to real estate. Real estate is not a commodity. You guys know how to price a house to get it to sell, right? Our agency, the 20 kind, smart people that work in our office, they are foundationally based on education, just the same way KW is. And so we're going to educate your client on, to Yana's point, what does it cost to rebuild? Slow seepage, those type things. So, Yana, can we tackle that dwelling or that?
Yeah, so why don't we start maybe, whenever I look at just a basic coverage, the first one that usually we see is a dwelling.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so really important. And in front of you, as I've kind of put some outlines together, and this is very brief, but hear me out here. Don't be reading while I'm talking, but watch this. This, guys, is the single most important part of any person's insurance. And it is this. That is the number that we as an industry estimate that it would cost to rebuild this unfortunate realtor's home that Yana was just talking about. And when we say rebuild, we're not just talking about rebuilding. We're talking about hiring a demolition crew to remove what's left off the foundation, hire an architect to draw plans, an engineer to stamp the plans, and then a builder to build it. That's the number that we're trying to come up with. Now, on average, that costs about $200 a square foot. Okay. Sometimes it's a little bit less depending on the size of the home and its amenities. Sometimes it's a little bit more because bigger homes have bigger amenities. But that, Yana, is the single most important part of any person's real home insurance policy. And I will tell y'all right now, it is the thing that I see most often incorrect. If I look at probably every one of y'all's home insurance policy in here, I bet 80% of you are probably do not have enough money to rebuild that home. And the other thing that I'll mention briefly, it's the most frequent question I'm asked, James, why am I buying the house for $500,000, but you're insuring it for $650,000? It's because what you guys are selling it for is its market price. What we're insuring it for is what it would cost to rebuild in the event of a total loss. Does that make sense?
Yes, we're going to dive into questions in a minute. What I would like to move on is other structures. What does that mean?
Yeah, other structures is anything not attached to the home. You mentioned that separate garage. So that's money. It's usually 10% of the dwelling amount. So if we have the home insured for $500,000, other structures is generally going to be 10% of that amount. So there's going to be $50,000. Now, if there is something in addition to other than a garage that costs more than $50,000 to rebuild, our agency advises your client, hey, you've got this structure in the back or whatever you've got, we should increase separate structures to be $100,000. But generally, my industry is not going to do that, y'all. They're just going to go with it and hope your client buys it. But that's what it is, separate structure.
Personal property, on this estimate, I have it at $281,000. What does that mean?
So personal property are all your contents in your home. If you guys were to flip your home upside down, everything that came out is your personal property. And I will tell you, you would be shocked at how much it costs to replace all the stuff in your guys' home. We've done it last December or 1 December ago, 2023, as sheriff, we insured her home burned to the ground. It was just her and her spouse, no kids. By the way, if you've got kids, you know, kids come with a lot of stuff. Amen. So if you got kids, you got even more stuff than what this family had. So, but yeah, that's what it is. And it's really important that we have enough money to replace those contents.
What about loss of use?
That's money, like you mentioned, while a family is living elsewhere because their home is unlivable or being rebuilt, it's the money that we would use to provide them a place to live. And unfortunately, again, just like what your realtor experience, I see that sometimes really low and they only have like a couple of months. You can't build a home in a couple of months, y'all. You just can't. Yeah.
Okay.
Good question.
What about per liability?
Yeah, so liability is really important. I call that lawsuit insurance. Somebody comes over to the home, they get hurt, you know, they're like, hey, because you left the water hose out, I tripped and fell and broke my arm and now I'm going to sue you. Or maybe they're your friend and they're like, I'm not going to sue you. It's okay. But their health insurance company pays for their medical bills. And then they found out that they got hurt at your home. That health insurance company is coming after you for the money. And so that's what general liability does. We generally write that in our agency at $500,000. I very often see our competitors write it at only 100 or 300, especially if there's a pool in your backyard. We'll generally do that at $1 million. And it's really inexpensive, y'all. To go from 500,000 to $1 million, it's like $20 a year. Really inexpensive.
All right. What about medical payments per person? This coverage shows 5,000.
Yeah, that same person for medical payments, they don't want to sue you, but out of the goodness of your heart, you're like, hey, let me pay for those stitches. Let me pay for that cast. You can file it under medical payments. And by the way, med payments and general liability are not subject to any deductible. They just are. There's no deductible.
All right. I also have another example over here. I see there's a water backup and sump discharge or overflow as an optional coverage for $10,000.
Yeah.
How does that differ from a regular coverage?
Two things. Number one, and that's really important because another thing that I often see in the market is there's no water coverage on policies. Like when we had the freeze 2 years ago, I can't tell you how many calls we got from our clients' neighbors saying, James, why are you out here fixing my neighbors, busted pipes and all and damage, but my insurance is not paying for it. Our policies, guys, that we write have water coverage up to the policy limit. So if we insure it for 500,000, that's how much insurance you have for water. But I can't tell you how many policies I see that either A, don't have water coverage, or B, if they have it, they cap it at $10,000 or $20,000. But it's really important. Water is the second most frequent claim filed, second only to weather.
Now, tell me the difference between, I see deductibles over here now being separate. Windstorm or hail is at 2%, and
Yeah.
then all other perils at 1%.
Yeah. So deductibles are important. Two things on deductibles. So many consumers think that a deductible is based on the amount of repairs. So, if you have a 2% deductible and it got $20,000 for the damage. Okay, I have a $2,000 deductible. It's not. I see somebody's head shaking back there, and you're right. It's based on the amount we insure the home for. So if we insure the home for $500,000 and you have a 2% deductible, then the deductible is 10 grand. Okay. And AOP, all other perils, means just exactly that. Anything that's not weather related. So a pipe bursting, a fire, a theft, things of that nature. These are all other perils. But then you have your weather deductible, which is what we're experiencing now, right? Hailstorm, high winds, tornadoes, hurricane. We're entering into hurricane season. These are all things that would be subject to the weather deductible. And if you're going to file a claim, let's make sure that the repairs or replacement that's needed exceeds that deductible. You don't want to be filing claims for something that's not going to meet your deductible, or even if you're only going to get $100 or $200 or $500, let's not file the claim because now you had a claim on your insurance and it may limit you going forward. Any other
Awesome.
questions?
Ma'am, you had a question?
Dwelling, what
Dwelling?
we're insuring the home for? Yes.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
good question.
absolutely.
Called the dwelling. It's the first line item on any person's home insurance.
Yeah.
I'll let you.
Insurance companies will they cost $300K for replacement cost, and other insurance companies will say it's only $270 for replacement cost.
Oh, my
Why is there a
goodness.
difference?
I absolutely love that question. Thank you. So the question is, hey, and let me say it in this way. If you guys call 5 different insurance companies today, all 5 of them are going to tell you something different on what it's going to cost to rebuild your home. I'll tell you that right now. And the reason being, it's not an exact science. There is no exact science that says it is guaranteed to cost this amount of money to rebuild your home. It's an estimate. But the challenge is, again, going back to my industry, is people in my position will do their best to manipulate the numbers, and they'll put that you have linoleum floors and like Formica countertops to get the reconstruction costs lower because they're trying to earn your business based on price. When our office puts that in, because we have to put the data into the database for the replacement cost estimator, we put it accurately. Hey, it's got silestone counters, it's got, tile floors, it's got all of these things. And so, but that's why, because these insurance companies are trying to get that reconstruction cost down, to get the cost down, to earn your business based on price. And then you file a claim, and the tragedy that this family is going through, it is what drives our agency every day, because we know that we are a better place to manage somebody's insurance. Number one, because we care, and number two, because we know we're doing it right. But that's why.
Types of things are put in the estimate.
Yes.
If it's tile versus or quartz countertops. versus-
Correct. So yeah, naturally, the more amenities that are in a home, the more it's going to cost to rebuild, right? If you've got marble or whatever. So we're putting that information in there accurately, but many people, let me tell you this right now. There are people right now quoting your guys' buyers that just started working in insurance last week. They just started, because my industry, what they do is they pull people in, they put them on the phones and say, just quote, 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 quote. The people that work in our agency, the person that manages KW Southwest from us, Aubrey Stember, 11 years in the industry, working with realtors. She is an absolute expert in her field. That's the type, going back to client experience, leverage insurance to create a client experience for your clients, because we can do it. It can be a value add to your business.
Gloria, you had a question.
It is. The fence, the question is, is the fence other structures? Yes, it is. It is other structures. And so we have to take that into account too, right? And yes. So if we have the home insured for $500,000 and then you're going to have 50 grand to replace your fence. Now you're probably looking at me and say, James, why on earth would I want $50,000 for my fence, right? Well, two things. Number one, some companies will allow us to lower that to be 5%. Some companies won't. Some companies just say, nope, sorry, we offer a standard 10% and that's it. But let me tell you this. Separate structures does not move the needle on cost. Even if we were to lower it to 5%, you're probably going to save $20 for the year. That's not where the money is. The money is in the deductibles. You lower or raise a deductible, nothing will make a bigger impact to the cost of home insurance than a deductible.
But like we are using the 5% or 10% deductible for the fence. The deductible, will be more expensive than the replacement cost.
So the question is deductible versus fence. Let's say that, yes, let's say that it's going to cost 15 grand to fix your fence, but you've got a $10,000 deductible. Then you're going to walk away with 5 grand, right? Or let's say you have a $10,000 deductible, but it's only going to cost $5,000 to fix your fence. Well, then naturally you wouldn't file a claim. We always tell your guys buyers and you too, because you're consumers, call our agency. Let's have a conversation. Now, if your home is on fire, there's no doubt it's meeting your deductible. But if there's some challenge, I don't know, maybe that you need a roof repair. Okay, well, let's get an estimate on it to see what the cost of it is before we initiate a claim to make sure it's going to meet y'all's deductible. That's a high level of client care. Whereas our competitors, what they do, they just have you dial a 1-800 number and you're out there on your own trying to navigate insurance and you're not insurance agents. You're excellent realtors. I don't try to be a realtor and I don't want you guys trying to be insurance agents.
All right, we have Rui, you had a question? Yeah. Oh, okay, fantastic. Let's dive into the foundation coverage, slow seepage. What is slow seepage?
So guys, these are additional coverages if you elect to have them. Slow seepage is sometimes in the back of the wall, a pipe just has a little drip, 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 right? It's not an explosion of water, what we call a sudden and accidental discharge of water. It's just a drip. So we have policies that you can include those coverages on, whereby if that happens and all of a sudden you finally see it break away, like, hey, why is this spot on here? And then you pull back all the sheetrock and then you see, oh my gosh, look, we've got a mess back here. That's slow seepage, but not all carriers will offer that. Some will, some won't. Yeah.
What about the foundation coverage?
Yeah, foundation coverage is interesting because that's going to cover the foundation against anything covered. The most frequent question that we get asked for foundation coverage is, hey, James, I see cracks in the wall. My foundation is messed up. Now, but here's the thing. Why is it messed up, right? It must be a covered event. So if it's messed up because the dirt beneath the foundation is separating due to lack of water, well, insurance doesn't cover the dirt. So generally that foundation is not going to be covered. Or if maybe it's got too much water and it's kind of sinking, again, insurance doesn't cover the dirt. And so we offer foundation coverage. It's not something that for me is like, oh my gosh, you got to have foundation coverage. I can go with or without it, but we offer it to your guys' clients and they can decide whether they want it or not. About $120 a year on average. Good
Awesome.
question.
Any other questions or online?
Who's your competitor?
Yes, I have a question. When can you switch the if you have somebody right now, is there a time frame that you can switch it or you can switch any time?
Yeah, so there are 2 questions were proposed. Number one, who is our competitor? I mean, you name it, any insurance company out there. It's really not carriers because, guys, we write through 20 different companies. Even though we brand ourselves as a farmer's agency, we write through 20 different companies. And so we almost write through every carrier out there, right? So it's not so much about the carrier, it's about the agency, because I get it all the time. Like one of our big carriers is SageSure. We have millions of dollars insured through them. But your clients will call me and say, James, I got a quote from SageSure that's $200 from another agency with SageSure who's $200 less than yours. Well, will you send it to me so I can look at it? And it's missing all of these coverages or it's underinsured. So it can be the same company, but if you put the data in incorrectly, it's going to yield back the wrong result. And then you're going to end up in that circumstance. So the gentleman asked, hey, James, what do we switch, right? Yeah. The great thing about Texas is you can move your insurance at any time you would like. And so if we evaluate your guys' insurance well, we'll talk about you guys because y'all are consumers, but if we evaluate y'all's insurance and we are better coverage, less money, better service, all the things that matter, we can guide you on how to get the refund. You can get a prorated refund from your current carrier. You can start our policy because I tell people, if you're going to have a claim during hurricane season, you want us managing it. You don't want this experience. As a matter of fact, this QR code that's at the top here, if you have a Gmail account, all you have to do is click on that thing. It'll ask you some questions. Our team will reach out to you to set an appointment to evaluate your insurance. If you don't have a Gmail account, you can just text or call our phone number or email us, and we can help you in that way. But we should absolutely help you guys because I talk a lot about helping your guys' buyers, and that's important. But to Yana's point, it doesn't make sense to help these people and not help you. That's why we are y'all's insurance partner. We're here, and you have an opportunity to do that.
Somebody, Mike Day, just made a comment. Can you open it up, Norman, so we can read it? However, back to when you can shop, just make sure that if you are escrowing, that you notify your thank you. Your lender, thank you. Not your lender. Well, yeah, whoever your loan is with. So that way they can also, adjust the escrow if needed. And then it all needs to be properly submitted to them. So that way all the refunds are handled properly. All right. What was Mike Day's question?
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Is it difficult to have insurance for the landlord, like who's living in a different state and the home is in a different state? Because I have one and the insurance has been canceled for something and he's having a hard time to find one.
It is not difficult. No, you need to fire your insurance partner and hire me. Y'all, I'm passionate about this. I know I sound a little arrogant and prideful, but I cannot tell you how important it is to your real estate business that you have an insurance partner, not just to your clients, but to y'all as well. And we want to be that partner. That's why Southwest hired us a year ago. But the answer to your question is this. Yes, there are a lot of companies out there that will not write what we call dwelling only policies, meaning somebody owns it, but they don't live in it. We have 5, 6 different companies that will do that. So reach out to us. We can absolutely do it.
Awesome. We have many other questions, so let's just run through it super quickly because we are getting out of time, okay? Can homeowner rebuild a smaller home in the event that they have a full loss? And let's say they would not have enough coverage for the rebuild. Can they build a smaller home?
They can choose to do that, but we have to insure it for what it would cost to rebuild. Number one, because your lenders back there, when they loan money, thank you, lenders. We appreciate y'all loaning money so we can buy homes, NAF. But the reality is they need to see that it's insured for what it would cost to rebuild, or at minimum the loan amount. So you can't say, hey, I know I'm buying a 3,600 square foot home, but if it burns to the ground, I'm only going to rebuild a 1,500 square foot home. So I only want to insure for that amount. No, you can't do that because TDI, Texas Department of Insurance, says as an insurance industry, we have to insure a home for what it costs to rebuild. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Insurance prices doubled in Missouri City. My policy went from $3,000 to $6,800. Why? And what is the solution?
And everybody, I'll tell you, if I asked every one of y'all, have y'all's rates went up, every one of y'all would raise your hand. Yeah, absolutely. Rates have been on the rise. Why? Because of what we call loss ratios, meaning the insurance industry, due to catastrophes and other things, have spent way more money over the last 3 to 5 years than what they've taken in. And you cannot run a business that way. And so we've seen considerable rate increases happening, doubling, that type thing. So that's why it's important that you be working with someone who has solutions. One of the things that I wrote on here on the forecast is, rates are stabilizing for new business, generally speaking. For renewals, there's still, some of these carriers have not caught up, but I will tell you, farmers, third largest insurer in the nation. They took rate increases early. It was probably about 18 months to 2 years ago. And in January, they lowered their rates by 11%. You guys, Farmers Home Insurance and auto insurance is on sale right now. Our closing ratios are record highs with that company right now. And so it's just one of the 20 companies we write through, but that's why it has to do with loss ratios, and they estimate what they need to take in versus what they're going to spend in claims. Those estimates have been inaccurate. Could a large part the freeze 2.5 years ago, right? They're looking at those loss ratios, and that's why it's gone up.
All right, James, one more question that I have over here. If somebody has a separate personal umbrella policy, does it cover personal liability, aka pool accident?
Yes. So umbrellas, one of the most underutilized, best bang for your buck policy that our industry offers. And what it does, I mentioned earlier, if something happens at your house, $500,000, but what if that claim isn't $500,000? What if you're getting sued for 1.5 or $2 million? You can purchase an umbrella, which is insurance for your insurance. So if that umbrella limits are exceeded at $500,000 or $1 million, the umbrella will come in and pay, depending on how much you buy. You bought in increments of $1 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll tell you right now, I have a $2 million umbrella for 2 reasons. Number one, I have a pool in my backyard. Number two, every summer we rent an RV. And so when I'm driving down the road with that thing, I do not want to hit somebody and hurt them. And the last thing is I love and want to protect my family. I've worked my entire life to create this life. I don't want it to all go away because of one event. And so I have a $2 million umbrella. So.
All right. Can we spend 3 minutes, because we are really out of time, talking about your insurance forecast? Are the prices going to continue to go up? Is it going to go down? What are you hearing in your industry?
Okay, here's my forecast. This is what I believe, and this is what I believe is happening based on the things that I'm reading and that type thing. Number one, roofs will continue to be an issue. I believe that at some point in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see that the norm for roofs is going to be 10 years. Right now, it's about 12 to 15. But if you've got a roof that's older than 10 years, I also believe that insurance companies are going to get more aggressive in what we call shared risk. Shared risk is an insurance term for this. They're going to say, you know what? At year 5, we're not going to offer replacement cost on the roof. Instead, we're going to depreciate it based on its age. So if it costs 20 grand to put a roof on there, they may only give you 19,000 or 18,000. And I think that's coming. It's already here. Insurance companies are doing that now. I think we're going to continue to see carriers pulling back until they can figure out how to manage Houston and Texas as a whole. When insurance companies can't figure out rate, you know what they do? They stop writing because, they'll stop. State Farm is no longer, generally speaking, is not writing home insurance south of I-10. You know why? Because they can't figure out how to rate for Houston. So for every home insurance policy they write, they're losing money. And so we're going to continue to see carriers be limited in that way. I'm very grateful that Farmers is wide open. They're saying, no. We're writing, and they're lowering rates. Let's see, what else? I think deductibles are going to rise. I will tell you, a 5% weather deductible is going to be the norm. It's coming. It's going to come in the next 2, 3, 5 years max. But that weather deductible will be, right now the norm is kind of about 3%, but it's going to 5%. And then moratoriums will continue to be an issue. We're entering into hurricane season. Just so you know, if a hurricane enters the Gulf, insurance companies are going to stop selling insurance. Rates, most carriers have already taken rates on new business, as I mentioned. Some are still taking it on renewal. Already mentioned that Farmers has lowered their rates. We will see new insurance companies entering the market. I saw one enter the market 2 weeks ago. The name of the, and you know what? I'd never heard of them. I've been in the industry for 20 years. And so I looked into them. I'm like, they had a better rate than I did. And I said, okay, let's check them out. Let's see. And if they're a good company, we'll go get appointed with them because we can do that. Well, guess what? I found out this company is what we call a non-admitted carrier. And what that means is they're subject to less stringent rules and regulations. And so if they go bankrupt, there's no recourse for your buyers. If they gave them $5,000 for home insurance 2 months ago, then that's it. They lost their money. And so just know that though there are admitted and non-admitted carriers out there. And then lastly, and many of you guys may have experienced this, there's another company in Texas called the Texas Fair Plan. It's a state-ran insurance agency. It's meant to be an insurer of last resort, meaning that the only way you should write that policy is that nobody else would insure it. And I'm not mad at State Farm. I think generally they have good agencies, but I'm seeing companies like State Farm and others that can't write home insurance right now. They're automatically quoting everything through them because it's the only place they can write it through. And the problem is there's no water coverage on it, none. There's no falling objects coverage on it, none. So if something falls on the home like a tree, no coverage. There's just all these restrictions on it, but they don't have anywhere else to go with it. So that's what they're doing. So have a process for your clients, for yourself. Use this QR code. Let's use this as an opportunity to evaluate your guys' insurance so you can experience what your buyers will experience. But we absolutely want to do that for you so that you don't end up in the situation that this realtor is in. We want to be here to serve and help you, not just sell insurance, but help you and create a great client experience for yourself and your buyers.
Thank you, James. Hey, would you stick around so that way if our agents have questions afterwards? I know we did not dive into some additional
Yeah, no,
info, which I feel like, was this helpful to kind of flush it out and go over it? Did you learn something new? All right. I highly want to encourage every single one of you to look into your own personal homeowners insurance and some of the coverages, because I think that just like myself, you're going to be a little bit surprised whenever you see some of the coverages.
Stick
So it's
around
good to
because
understand it.
and there's one thing I wanted to touch on and we're going to do it afterwards, but I'm going to tease y'all real quick. 30, 60, 25. That's your teaser. Stick around and I'll tell you why that's important.
Thank you very much. All right. What I would love to do is to invite our business partner, Deborah, come on up. Riley, come on up. Let's give them a round of applause along with Dale. The Speaker of the House is in the house.
Can I ask one thing?
Yes.
Hey, before we start here, if everybody can pull out a business card, we're going to have a drawing at the very end. I'm going to come around while they're presenting.
Good morning. I am Deborah McGuire with Orbit Title, but today I am taking off my title hat and I'm replacing it with my fundraiser hat because I am on a mission to help Neary's Promise replace her 4 signs. She's recently updated her logo, so her current signs that are on her building and out on the street are obsolete and they need to be replaced. And so she's reached out to me and asked me if somehow Keller Williams could get together and help her with this. I have the quote here and I have kind of divvied up the different amounts the agents can donate to try to make it as easy as possible for you guys. You may have received an email from me already, but I'm looking for 20 agents, realtors, to donate around $25 a piece. And then if you're feeling very generous, I'm looking for 15 agents to do $50 a piece. Of course, you can do any amount you feel comfortable doing. I think Norman's over here. He's showing you the website, the link. It's super easy. You can go onto her website or you can find my email that I sent yesterday. Just go online, donate whatever amount you feel comfortable. But we're trying to raise $1,500. I am going to start the donation with a $300 donation from myself to cover the first sign. But I'd really love for you guys to help with the other signs and the installation that costs about $750. We want to make sure they're installed properly. So, all right, that's all I have to share today. I have this form. I'll pass it around. Feel free to sign up. And again, do what you feel comfortable doing. There's no set amount. All right. Thank you. Y'all have a great week.
Good morning, everyone. Just kind of on the idea of insurance. Insurance obviously is a big part of a buyer's monthly payment. Would you agree? Okay. As James was telling you, just because they want to get the least expensive insurance, we as a lender are going to require that there is a minimum amount of coverage on the property. Again, replacement cost or, as he alluded to, you've got to have enough coverage to cover the loan. If your buyers, if you all are deciding to go out and find other insurance and you have a mortgage, you've got to let your mortgage company know, your buyers need to let them know who is my insurance coverage now? Because when the insurance writes a check for any claims or losses, they're going to include your buyer and the insurance company's name on that check. Very, very important. It's not just about how much monthly minimum they've got as far as their monthly payment. There are ways that the insurance company can help to keep that payment down, and it might be a difference of them qualifying for the loan or not. Because insurance rates are going up, we've got to make certain that they make a decision. So as a lender, we can determine exactly how much that mortgage payment is going to be, so we can determine, can they truly qualify for the loan? It's important to get this information up front. That's all I've got to say. Thank you all.
Hello, everybody. I'm Riley's voice box today. Okay. Hi, everyone. Please drop your business cards off to Riley Nelson if you are available at 1:30 to go to the Astros versus Athletics game today. At the end of this meeting, Riley will draw one lucky person to attend the game with Riley and other real estate professionals. Thank you to everyone who came out to the CE Intensive. We did a branding 101 taught by me, Canva 101, and Canva Advanced, TikTok, and we had a full day of content yesterday as well. I have one more week of vocal rest, and I will be available to meet one-on-one with you starting next week. So now it's time for a drawing.
Drum roll!
Drum roll! Serious. Oh my gosh, it's me. No, I'm just kidding. Fola!
Yay, Fola!
Are you available to go to an A's game today? No.
Going.
Oh, we're
We're gonna keep doing this until someone is.
What happened to the vocal rest?
Well, it was gonna get messed up if I didn't speak. Sorry. Matt.
Jonathan!
They're going.
Ah, he's already
Well, I
going.
got another
All right.
Gloria!
Can anyone make it?
Raise your hand if you can make it in 1:30 to the game. Oh, we have one there. Yes.
All right. Coming up.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
A lot of work.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. I really appreciate it. I hope you learned a thing or two. We're going to see you next week for another great content. And then James is here. He will take it away. So grab donuts and kolaches and then join him for the remainder of the session. See you next week.